If your goal is to melt fat, I'll be sharing with you 7 powerful fat-burning ingredients that you want to take a shot of, 1 tablespoon per day, to burn a ton of fat in less than 7 days. All of these ingredients I'm going to share with you right now have one thing in common. They lower inflammation, they balance your hormones, and they support your metabolism. Let's start with the first tablespoon you want to start taking starting today. Extra virgin olive oil. Oh, one of my favorite oils in the world for fat loss. Look, extra virgin olive oil is rich in polyphenols, which we know reduces oxidative stress, which is the key because when you have too much oxidative stress, your fat-burning hormones can't burn fat. So if you lower that oxidative stress and lower inflammation, your fat-burning hormones do a better job. We also know that extra virgin olive oil activates something called thermogenesis through brown fat activation. Okay, what the heck does that mean? The reason why you have extra fat on your body right now, especially the belly fat and the visceral fat around your organs, this is called white fat. White fat is not healthy for you. White fat does not allow you to burn fat. White fat leads to inflammation and a shortened lifespan. We want brown fat. Brown fat is very dense with mitochondria, these energy batteries within your cells. And all you need to know is that the more brown fat you have, the more calories your metabolism burns. And extra virgin olive oil has been shown to increase thermogenesis and brown fat, which simply means it helps your metabolism burn more calories sitting on the couch. Extra virgin olive oil also improves a key hormone for fat loss called insulin. It creates insulin sensitivity and lowers inflammation at the same time. Both of these are the 2 biggest levers for burning fat. And if you want to increase your lifespan, why not take some olive oil? A 2020 systemic review found that high olive oil intake reduced cancer risk by 31% and improved metabolic health. So the best ways to use your olive oil, you could simply take a tablespoon and take it as a shot. You could pour that tablespoon on your proteins, or use it as a cooking oil, or put it as a salad dressing or a dip. But here's the key thing you need to know about olive oil. Not all olive oil is created equal. Make sure it's organic, it's extra virgin, it's in a dark glass bottle. When you're shopping at the grocery store, find those key terms and make sure you're going toward the back of the shelf, kind of where there's no light shining, the dark part of the shelf, and grab that bottle, because the more the bottle is exposed to light, it could lose some of the benefits. Now, here's how you know if your olive oil is legit or not. Take a tablespoon and take a shot. It needs to burn your throat, make your tongue a little fuzzy, maybe even make you cough. That's a sign it's loaded with polyphenols. But if it goes down smooth, that might mean it's rancid or it's cut with the seed oil. So go do the olive oil taste test. I personally get all of my olive oil from the Fresh Pressed Olive Oil Club, the healthiest, the cleanest, the best tasting olive oil in the world. You could get it for $1 over at ketocampoliveoil.com. Let's move on to the second thing you want to consume for fat loss. The second ingredient is MCT oil, which stands for medium chain triglyceride oil. There are different types of MCT oil, C6, C8, C10, C12. The C8 MCT oil, called caprylic acid, is the best one for fat loss. What it does, it converts into ketones quickly for energy, which increases your metabolic rate, lowers inflammation, turns your brain on, and of course, helps you burn fat. It increases something called fat oxidation, which also supports your mitochondria. Studies show that MCT oil raises this metabolic rate, reduces appetite, and enhances fat burning inside of your metabolism. The best way to use it is to grab 1 tablespoon of caprylic acid, make sure it's in a glass bottle. It doesn't have to be dark, but a glass bottle, not plastic. And I'll put a link for the one I use in the notes down below. And either put that 1 tablespoon in your coffee, your tea, in a smoothie, or just take it off the spoon right before a workout or in a fasted state. It'll actually support your fast. So the second ingredient is a tablespoon of MCT oil, caprylic acid. The third shot you want to take is apple cider vinegar. Apple cider vinegar is a health powerhouse, especially for fat loss. Why it works. When you take apple cider vinegar, a tablespoon, right before you eat a meal, it lowers something called postprandial glucose by up to 34%, studies show, in diabetics. What does that mean? When you eat food, there's going to be a blood sugar increase. And then insulin is produced to clear that glucose. The more the increase in blood sugar, the more insulin produced, the longer you stay storing fat. If you could blunt and block that glucose and insulin spike, you go back into a fat burning state much faster. Enter apple cider vinegar. Taking just a tablespoon right before your meals, great way to not just digest that food better, but prevent a high glucose and insulin response, putting you back into a fat burning state much faster. We know apple cider vinegar enhances digestion, helps you break down fat better, suppresses appetite, and reduces fat storage. And if you're a diabetic or pre-diabetic watching this, I got great news for you. A study published in the Diabetes Journal found that apple cider vinegar improves insulin sensitivity even after a high carbohydrate meal. So the best ways to use it, as I mentioned, 1 tablespoon before all your meals, also first thing in the morning, and heck, you could even have another tablespoon after your meal. You want to make sure you dilute it with water, drink it through a straw, and if you're going to do a supplement version of apple cider vinegar, a lot of the stuff out there is crap. Stay away from the gummies. I personally use the Paleo Valley Apple Cider Vinegar Complex. You would take 3 capsules as a dosage, and I'll put a link and a coupon code for that down below. The 4th ingredient is Resveratrol powder. This works by activating something called sirtuins and fat-burning genes in your body, PGC alpha. All you need to know is that when you consume resveratrol in the right form, you extend your lifespan and turn on fat-burning genes. This enhances mitochondrial biogenesis, which is the creation of new mitochondria within your cells, these little battery packs. It also reduces inflammation and oxidative stress. A 2018 study found that resveratrol improves fat oxidation and insulin sensitivity, helping with weight loss. So you get a tablespoon, mix it into water or a smoothie, take it with a meal containing fat for better absorption. There are many ways to consume it. My favorite source is something called organic Japanese knotweed powder, and I'll drop a link for that down below. The 5th ingredient is capsaicin chili pepper extract. This is such a powerful fat-burning ingredient that I actually put it on the cover of my new book called Metabolic Freedom, which, by the way, you can get this in an entire course on the metabolism for free with exclusive interviews, and I built out all the lessons in this course all about the metabolism. And if you want to get that for free, go to metabolicfreedombook.com, order the book, and you'll get the course and the interviews for free. But the point is this, I put it on the cover because it signifies a spark, it signifies a boost in the metabolism, and it's not just theory, science actually backs this up. You see, how this works is that red pepper and chili pepper extract boosts thermogenesis, which is your body's ability to burn calories. It activates that important brown fat we mentioned earlier, and it suppresses your appetite. A study in the European Journal showed that capsaicin increases calorie burn and fat oxidation, especially belly fat. So you want to take 1 teaspoon in this case, not a tablespoon, but teaspoon of capsaicin powder with your meals, or even just add some chili powder to your meals as a seasoning, and I'll drop a link for the capsaicin supplement that I've used in the past in the notes down below. The 6th ingredient is probably something you've never heard of before, which is called Grains of Paradise. In chapter 9, which is foods that support your metabolism, I get into the science of why I included Grains of Paradise. Grains of Paradise, actually, it's one of the best things you can consume for that brown fat activation. A double-blind placebo-controlled study that I put in the book found that Grains of Paradise significantly increased energy expenditure and reduced belly fat, meaning if you simply just take about 30 milligrams per day is what the studies show, adding it to your tea or in a supplement form, it'll increase your metabolism ability to burn fat, especially belly fat. So if you've never heard of Grains of Paradise, you might want to check it out. I'll drop a link for the one I've used in the past in the notes down below. The 7th ingredient is Conjugated Linoleic Acid, CLA. Of course, it needs to be from a good source, organic, cold pressed, never heated. But the studies show, and I actually put this in the same chapter, chapter 9 of Metabolic Freedom, the studies show it reduces fat storage and increases fat oxidation, improves lean muscle mass, really important for longevity and insulin sensitivity, supports metabolic function. A Journal of Nutrition study found that CLA supplementation significantly reduced body fat in overweight individuals. So you want to take 1 tablespoon per day in liquid or capsule form, and I'll drop a link for the one I've used in the past, again, in the notes down below. There are some bonus things you can add into the mix here. I gave you several things that you take a tablespoon of each day for fat loss, but In chapter 9 of Metabolic Freedom, I have these fat burning biohacks, and I'm gonna share 3 of them with you right now if you wanna get extra results here with the protocol. So the first one is cold exposure. Cold exposure in the form of a cold shower, a cold plunge, going into a cold body of water like the ocean or a lake, or even cryotherapy, activates cold shock proteins, which creates this vascular massage of benefits, lowers inflammation, could boost testosterone, could activate that brown adipose tissue and help you burn fat. So cold exposure is great. I also would recommend the opposite of cold exposure, which is heat therapy, hot exposure. Hot shower, saunas, steam room, activates heat shock proteins, also increases your metabolic rate, also activates brown adipose fat, very beneficial. And the third biohack for fat loss is red light therapy, using a red light panel. I have several here in my office. 10 inches, 10 minutes away, great for skin health, great for inflammation. You could put it on the gut if your stomach feels off, great for pain, great for recovery in between workouts, just great in general. And there's some studies showing when you actually use red light lasers on your stomach, it actually reduces belly fat. Now, with all that being said, let's get to some questions here, because I'm sure you have a whole bunch. And the first question I usually get asked is, can I take all 7 of these ingredients at once, or should I space them out? I wouldn't take them all at once. It might be just too much. I would rotate them. You know, I gave you 7 ingredients, so maybe you choose 1 for each day of the week. Now, I will say this, there are some ingredients here that I recommended that are more practical and easier to use on a consistent basis. That would be the olive oil, the MCT oil, and the apple cider vinegar. Those are 3 ones that you could easily get. You probably have them already. You could use them more consistently, but mix them up, rotate. If you start to hit a plateau, go to a different one. Many different ways to do this. The next question is this: what's the best time of day to take each ingredient for maximum fat loss? MCT oil is great in the morning with coffee or tea. Apple cider vinegar is best right before your meals. The Resveratrol powder and some of the other powders are best with a meal. So there's different ways to do that, but many of these methods work. The next question is this: do I need to change my diet, or will this work no matter what I eat? Well, I mean, you'll get some results with this protocol even if you don't change your diet. But imagine if you made some changes. Imagine if you just found some ways to tweak your breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and then you added these ingredients. You really will accelerate your fat loss. And I want to make this easy for you. I have an ebook. It's a free book. You can read it in like 15 minutes or less. Gives you some fat burning meal plans, talks about time restricted feeding, and it shows you exactly what to eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner to lose up to 10 pounds in 7 days. So get that for free over at burnfatbook.com or scanning the QR code on the screen if you're watching on YouTube. That's the protocol. I'll drop all the links down below. Share this with a friend. Thank you so much for watching and listening today. And if you love this, and if you really want to burn fat and learn about something your doctor won't tell you about, there's some incredible things that happen in your body when you go without food for 36 hours. Not just the fat loss benefits, but you could actually rewire your entire body and get over a lot of symptoms with a 36-hour fast. I just published a video going through a timeline on what happens in your body during a 36-hour fast. Check out this clip, and then I'll see you in that video. This lesson has the ability to transform your metabolism, your health, and vitality. You trigger an insulin response. When that's triggered, you start to store fat. Your metabolism literally gets rid of these inflamed intestinal cells through a process called apoptosis,